So, area boundaries. So, meron silang nilalagay dito. Grabe, oh. No! Kasi mabasag yung cam natin. Sorry, Daddy! Sorry, Dad! Ang cute ng ano nila kasi makulay sila. Natulog talaga si Dexa. Natulog siya, guys. Sa tinulugan niya yung ano namin, yung aming glacier. Glacier adventure. So sorry, next year na, baby. Malaki ka na siguro. Sorry, sleep ka lang. Sorry, Daddy. Okay, ang sarap ng tulog niya. Okay, let's go na, baby. Doon na tayo, Dad. Let's go na. Okay, let's go na. Lexi, come on. Lexi.
Your beautiful smile, your beautiful life are waiting for you to shine bright. It's never too early or late to start to rise up and shine. Your beautiful smile, your beautiful life are waiting for you to shine bright. It's never too early or late to start to rise up and shine.
What? Okay. Nagkataon nga lang na inantok si Dexa. Dali na lang namin ulit siya dito. Next year siguro. Kasi nga, hindi maganda yung timing ng pinili namin hapon. Nantok na siya. At saka wala na din kaming ticket na nadatnan. So siguro next year, Daddy, will book a ticket ng medyo maaga. Yeah, online. Kasi yun nga, sa mga may bata na katulad namin, yan, hindi maganda yung naging timing nung, or hindi lang siya nagnap kasi the whole day. So yan. So yan sila, mag-ama. Sorry, Dad. Yan, si Daddy hindi na na-enjoy. Na-enjoy naman niya pero hindi ganun. Kasi syempre may batang tulog at mabigat si Dex eh. So yun ang mga reasons namin na mahirap pa i-travel yung mga kids. Yeah, okay, go. Okay, let's go. Oh. Okay. Magpa-picture tayo dito sa kanila.
Would you like to drink from the cold
Ice. Sino nagsabi sa'yo na i-touch mo? Sino nagsabi sa'yo na i-touch mo? Gusto namin umupo sa harapan this time. So, akyat na kami ng maaga. Lexi, diyan ka muna ha. Gusto ko umupo sa harapan. Sorry, Dad. Tulog naman yung anak mo. So, yeah. Mainit. Lagay ko lang siguro yung... Gusto kong umupo dito sa harapan kasi medyo maganda yung dito. So ganito siya. So ito, mupo na kami ng harapan. Yan.
The very last one that they purchased, they bought in the summer of 2001. I was here that summer and a brand new Ice Explorer cost $750,000. So back then I started saving, hoping that I could buy one of the old ones. And it didn't work out. They restored them completely. The bus you were on used to have a 2-stroke 6-cylinder Detroit diesel, but now it's on to a 4-cylinder Mercedes-Benz engine. So is it windy out on the glacier?
Too bad.
Oh, look at that.
Ah,
Check your left-hand side. There's a couple bighorn sheep.
yes. We're just chilling, yeah.
Chilling, yeah. Which one should we eat for dinner? I'm kidding. You can't do that. It's a national park. Okay, we gotta get Mosey on here.
Bye.
Now that wind that comes down on the glacier is usually very strong wind, and sometimes it's very cold. So if you look at the trees on the right-hand side here, you might notice some of the trees only have branches on one side.
Yes.
That cold wind can freeze the sap on one side of the tree, preventing it from getting essential nutrients.
Oh.
The wind sometimes picks up sand, and that has a sandblasting effect on the trees. And there's also a very short growing season. So you might find it hard to believe, but some of the trees on the right-hand side are 400 years old.
Oh.
They just don't grow very big. Out to your left-hand side across the valley, that triangular shaped forest is called the ancient forest. Some of those trees are 700 years old.
Oh.
Just down to your left below the ancient forest, you can see the Lake, still frozen over. That lake started to form in 1938. As the glacier retreated, it exposed a depression in the rock that the meltwater had to fill. The glacier continued to root in the rock, and the lake got bigger and bigger until about 1954. So that's when it reached its maximum size. Since then, it has been shrinking. Currently, it's only about a third of the size that it used to be. When the glacier advances forward, the ice on the bottom of the glacier can grind against the bedrock underneath it. That creates a fine rock debris called rock flour. When the rock flour gets carried down with the meltwater and stays suspended in the water of the glacier-fed lakes, the short wavelengths of the visible light spectrum get reflected back off of the rock flour, and that's why the glacier-fed lakes have that beautiful bluish green color. Now, Sunwapta Lake's a little bit different. There's not a lot of water flowing in and out of the lake. As a result, some of the rock flour settles onto the bottom of the lake, and that's what makes it smaller and smaller every year. So eventually it should disappear completely, and there's just going to be a river running through it. Something's up with the gate, comes down for a couple weeks, a week. Usually it's remote control, but now it's manual. Be right back.
Okay. So as you can see here, guys, ayan. Doon kami galing.
Where did they start from this?
Kami galing sa there.
They walk all the way.
Doon kami galing. Yan, diyan kami galing kasi. Yeah. Yan, kita nyo naman diyan kami galing. So, makat kami doon. Okay. Yan, gising na si Dex.
Okay, the lake to your right-hand side
Yeah.
is called Ripple Lake,
Gising na.
because usually there's wind blowing across the surface, causing a ripple effect. So this is not a glacier-fed lake. It's fed from a natural spring that comes down from Mount Athabasca. So that's where we get the water for the ICEFIELD Center and our staff accommodation. The ICEFIELD Center was opened in 1996. It replaced the original ICEFIELD Chalet that opened here in 1939.
I think dito siya. Saan pa siya?
This building was specially designed to deal with the harsh winter climate. So it's built in 3 sections. There's an expansion joint between each, runs top to bottom throughout the building. So in the winter, when we close down, this year that'll be on October 10th, the building gets shut down completely. They put antifreeze in the pipes, and in the winter when it gets cold, it contracts in size. And then when you turn the heat back on in the spring, it'll expand again. So the expansion joints just prevent damage from occurring during that process. So if you look out to your left-hand side, that mountain there is Snow Dome. That's the triple continental divide where the water can flow into 3 different oceans, the Atlantic, the Arctic, or the Pacific.
Wow.
And fortunately today you can see the Dome Glacier.
Yeah.
So just up ahead to your left, that ice coming down from the top of the mountain is the Dome Glacier. Now the glacier does extend all the way into the valley, where you see the dirt and the snow. That is part of the glacier. It's part of an ice core moraine. So there's about 1 meter or 3 feet of rock on top of all the ice, and it insulates it, preventing it from melting as fast. Now I'll tell you a little bit about the history of the discovery of the Columbia ice field. The mountain's called Mount Wilcox. That's named after an American mountaineer named Walter Wilcox. He came to this area in 1896. When his party reached this area, when they continued traveling north, they took the mountain pass that goes behind the mountain, which is also called Wilcox Pass. Had they taken the time to climb the mountain, they might have discovered the Columbia ice field. You can see part of the ice field from the summit of Mount Wilcox, but it would depend on the weather. Now around that time that he was here, there was a rumor that there was 2 Himalayan-sized mountains in this area. It wasn't true. Somebody overestimated the height of a couple mountains. But nevertheless, a man named Norman Colley came out here to look for those 2 mountains. So when he got here on August 18th, 1898, he climbed Mount Athabasca, and from there he accidentally discovered the Columbia ice field. This area to your right is just nicknamed the Shooting Gallery, and you don't have to worry too much. It doesn't change much from year to year, even decade to decade. I've never seen big rocks firing down across the road. When water seeps into the cracks in the rock, the crevices, if it gets below 0 and the water freezes, it can expand and cause the rocks to break and come tumbling down. Out to your left-hand side is Mount Kitchener. It's a cantilever-style platform. So there's 34 anchors that hold it onto the side of the cliff. It extends 35 meters or 115 feet from the edge of the cliff and hangs 280 meters or 918 feet above the valley floor. So this is a private access area. You can't drive out here and then go onto the skywalk. Other tour buses do not come out here, so it's just the pursuit buses from the ICEFIELD Center, and then during the day there's Brewster sightseeing buses. They take their customers right up here. As far as the closing time, it depends on when the last tour on the ice is. So I believe they'll probably close at 7 o'clock tonight. So you got 45 minutes to an hour. Now, there is no washroom facility here. There's no smoking, but you can smoke in the parking lot near the garbage can. And there is still some guides here, so they can take small groups out and explain stuff like geography, geology, the wildlife. They have fossils that they can show you as well. Or you can head out there by yourself and have a look around. When it is time to head back, there's a yellow fence. I'll show you it up ahead and on the left. You just wait there, and the next bus that comes up will pick you up and take you back to the ICEFIELD Center. So it is a good area to see bighorn sheep and mountain goats. Sometimes you see them on the cliff to the right, and sometimes you see them down below in the valley there.